Hello, today we'll look at two very special ways to describe events of the past, used to and would. When I was a schoolboy, I used to go to school by bus. When I was a schoolboy, I would go to school by bus. In this case, both sentences mean the same thing. Used to and would are two very common ways to describe some regular or repeated actions or habits in the past. One more time, repeat after me. I used to go to school by bus. I would go to school by bus. One important thing about used to and would is that we use them when we speak about some actions that do not happen anymore. They were regular or repeated actions or habits only in the past but not any longer. So let's take a look at different forms of used to. I used to go to school by bus. This is a statement. I didn't used to go to school by bus. This is the negative form, and please pay attention that in the negative form there is no ending ed. Did you used to go to school by bus? And this is a question. And now the forms of would. I would go to school by bus, a statement. I wouldn't go to school by bus. It's the negative form. And a question. Would you go to school by bus? But honestly, I have not heard questions with would and this meaning very often. I used to live in New York 10 years ago. Living is not a habit. It is not an action which was habitual or repeated or regular. This is something that happened for a long time non-stop, and this is called a permanent action. So, with permanent actions, we use only used to when we speak about the past. We cannot use the verb would in this case. So there is only one variant possible. I used to live in New York 10 years ago. And you cannot say, I would live in New York 10 years ago. Let's take a look at more examples of sentences with permanent actions. I used to work for a big company. I used to study a lot in my first year at university. I used to like ice cream as a kid. Or when I was a kid, I used to like ice cream. Like is not an action verb. It's a stative verb. And when we talk about permanent states in the past, there is only one variant possible, used to. I used to like ice cream as a kid. And you cannot say, I would like ice cream as a kid. Would is not used with stative verbs. More examples of stative verbs. Love, hate, appear, belong, believe, own, remember, know. Want, wish, understand, need. Repeat after me. I used to know a lot of songs. She used to own a big house. These are also examples of sentences with stative verbs. This is my friend, and he would sometimes feel lonely in that place. But sometimes it's okay to use would with stative verbs. It happens when the state is not permanent but a temporary one, usually with frequency adverbs such as sometimes, often, or usually. For example, I would sometimes feel lonely in that place. I would often feel lonely in that place. I would usually feel lonely in that place. More examples. She would often forget her students' names. I would sometimes see her near our house. Now I hope it's clear when we need used to or would when speaking about the past, and if you like this video, please drop me a like and please subscribe.